Most wrestlers struggle with peaking at the right time. A little bit too early, and you'll run out of steam by the end of the season and possibly burn out and not really want to be there. A little too soon, and you're going to be wrestling your best matches before state time when it actually counts. So if you have this problem, this video is for you. I'm going to tell you a little bit of strategy on how to time out your season correctly. So we're going to talk about why peaking too early hurts your season, because you could be looking at me and saying, well, don't I want to wrestle my season the best throughout the entire season? Unfortunately, that's just not possible. That's not how the human body works. We can only peak a certain amount of times every single year. So take UFC fighters, for example. They fight 2 to 4 times per year. They're going to try to peak for the night of performance every single time. It's a little bit easier for them because they have longer breaks in between, and it's harder for wrestling because we're competing every single weekend. But if we can look at our entire season as a learning phase, and then our state or nationals as the time that we want to peak and compete our best, it's easier for us to plan out our entire year. We don't want to push too hard too early, because then we're going to be peaking around Christmas, mid-season, or the last 3 quarters of the season rather than the end of the season. This can lead to burnout. So if you're feeling fatigued, sore, tired, injured come the end of season every single year, you're probably pushing too hard too early, and you need to slow down your season a little bit. We don't want to get to the competition and feel like it's exhausting to have to go compete. I felt like this a lot my second year starting in college. I had a really hard weight cut. I was dealing with a lot of injuries, and it was almost like it was a burden to have to compete after making weight. It felt like the competition for me was making weight rather than competing, and you'd hate to feel like that. Now, there's some weeks I did a better job than others, but it sucked because it just felt like the season was so burdening to me, and it's supposed to be fun. We're supposed to enjoy wrestling. So how do we peak for these big matches? So come state national times, we actually are competing at our 100% best. Well, it is a longer process than most people think. You can't, just train hard for a week or two and then all of a sudden you're good to go. Like I said, we should use the early portions of the season for learning, right? I mean, we should be learning year round, right? But these early portions of the season, we should be trying new things, maybe testing out new strategies, working on new moves that are going to help us later on in the season. So this should be, honestly, a little bit easier than what a lot of teams do. A lot of teams have a really, really hard preseason, and then their guys come into the season sore and tired, and they don't even want to wrestle anyways. So it's like, during the early season, I like to just focus on learning and getting in shape a little bit and making sure that we're back to our normal routine and ready to compete. Then mid-season, we can kind of kick it up a little bit, right? And start making training a little bit harder. And I'm talking mid-season, like after January 1. So we can start training a little bit harder, getting in really, really, really good shape, and getting ready for this state season. Now, a couple weeks before state, so say your conference tournament, regional, sectionals, we should be tapering our training back. That doesn't mean we're not going live and stuff like that, but we shouldn't be doing these long hour grind live goes. Maybe at conference possibly, but regional, sectional, and state, our key focus should be making sure everything that we're hitting is really in tune. It feels really, really crisp and clean, and our body feels ready to compete. We're excited to go out on the mat every single time. We don't hit the competition day and feel completely exhausted from the week of training and our weight cut. We should feel excited and ready to go come competition day, and that means slowing down our training and tapering it off and not going as hard. We should be looking to flow during practice, maybe hit a match at the end or something like that. But overall, we should be taking care of our injuries, sleeping right, eating healthy, and really, really starting to taper our training so that all of our energy can go into the competition on the weekends, and we're not spending all of our energy in practice. This is going to help not only our body feel good, but also mentally. It's a huge advantage if you feel like you are excited to go compete, because a lot of people at the end of the year, they're burnt out and they're just mentally out of it. Some final tips is I encourage you to track your energy levels. Make sure that you're feeling good every single day. And if there's a day where you're not really feeling the best, taper off. Don't push too hard, especially at the end of season. That time to push through those moments is early season and middle of the season. During the end of season, we're just focused on feeling our best. Mentally, we should feel confident because we are hitting our best stuff in practice and everything feels crisp and smooth, and possibly even going with worse wrestlers to boost our confidence level a little bit, beat them up a little bit, and go into the weekend feeling really good. The key is to stay disciplined, trust in the process, and keep the end in sight throughout the entire season, and that's going to help you peak at the correct times.